What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Josh with a more heavier video today. Y'all just gonna have to hear the story. So, what year did this take place?
Around 2021. A long time ago on an old Discord server. So basically, 2 years ago, 2021, me and a group of people, we were doing this drift race event in VRC. Mainly the initial D ones, just tandems, 1v1s, time trials, etc. It was fun. One day, one of the dudes that I knew for a while, he was more of a club party goer, and this dude had lots of health issues from what I knew, and every time I was on, he was always on some sort of drug or substance, right? I won't say his name, of course, obviously, out of respect, but basically, I invited him over one day to the world, asking if he wanted to, check out these events we've been doing and stuff, and he was like, sure, man. Of course, I took him on for, a drive down, the mountain track we were on, and he fucking loved it, especially because he was in VR, and at the time my Quest headset was broken, so the old one was, so I wasn't on VR, I was just more in desktop mode, right? So basically, we are driving down the mountain, he ends up loving it, I drive him back up, along while animating and following other guys that were driving in the other cars, right? And it was fun and all. We get to the bottom of the track again, and he wants to drive all of a sudden, right? And we were like, are you sure you're kind of on drugs, you don't know how the controls work on this world anyways, it might go pretty shit for you. He's like, yeah, man, sure. First few attempts he went up and down, he did surprisingly pretty well, aside from bumping and crashing a lot, he was alright. We could tell he was having fun, so we just, decided to ignore it, let it be. About an hour or two later, because airmans were on the track, there's 30 of them. And this man, we're at the bottom of the hill, right? He gets in the blue WRX, I think, that kind of car, Subaru. He gets in it, he's driving uphill on it from the finish line, or the bottom of the track, right, going up, and all's going well. I actually couldn't catch him for a bit. I'm like, shit, this guy's good for a new one. Maybe it's the drugs that he was on, but he ends up crashing into one of the guardrails. Again, he had been crashing all night, so we didn't really think much of it, and his car just started rolling downhill. And some of the guys told me that as we were all passing him, that they could hear coughing or some sort of choking noises, etc. And we were wondering that's kind of odd. I mean, we still drove all the way uphill to the finish line, then we decided to drive back down, and we came across him, we all stopped, we noticed that his car rolled down to a certain point of the map, and we could hear wind and stuff in his microphone, but he wasn't moving or anything, right? So we kind of got out of our cars on the VRC world. We kind of walked up to his. We despawned the car because there was a despawn feature, right? And we were looking at him hey dude, you good? We're all just on on our computers, just wondering what's up, trying to get a communication. And his avatar, or I guess him, because it was tracking his movements, he was kind of slumped over this, right? His arms in front of him, and he's hunched. And we're thinking, oh, that's normal, or he probably just passed out, or he's wild night, right? So we log on the next day, and we noticed that the world we were on, it had a person in it, and we're like, ooh, okay, someone's actually driving in a public instance, right? Because usually most of our stuff was private, and no one really joined those worlds at the time anyways. We check it out, it's the same guy from the other night, my same friend. And he's slumped over even further like this. In that moment, we're getting a little, panicky, right? Now, we're probably thinking maybe he just took off his headset and just left it there, and it was just still tracking. But it was also the fact that he was kind of slumped over and still I guess, what would you call a proper, armature. It was anatomically correct for a human to be slumped like that, I guess, if they were, asleep, or, as in this case, dead. Of course, everyone's kind of starting to go crazy, in our Discord DMs and stuff, and we're all right, everyone calm down, it's probably nothing. Thing is, the day after that, and the day after that, same thing, except now he is even more slumped over, and when we logged on, evidently, a few times over when people were logging on trying to check on him, even myself included. Sorry, my tracking's kind of going out. We kind of could hear like these weird farty sounds, or these like, you know, cracking noises, or like something like really gassy, or like, you know, poppy, right? Like popping sounds too. And in that moment, I think we also all knew at that moment, or figured out that, oh shit, was this guy decomposing? A week later, I don't even know how his headset or his computer was still on. He was still there. At this time, he was like slumped all the way to the ground, right? And in the background, all you could hear is wind and sometimes like a dog barking at some point or whatever. And it was until, you know, that week after that is, well, when he finally got disconnected or something, I guess the servers went out. And eventually, you know, one of my my friend who introduced me to him at the time, right, kind of told me that he got brought into like some sort of like, you know, group Discord DM thing, and they kind of confirmed that he didn't make it, overdosed. From that day, I told myself I would never do drugs, especially while playing VR or doing anything motion-inducing, stuff like that. And that, for more or less, is basically the story I got to share. That was my experience of witnessing someone dying online in a video game, I guess. Never thought it would happen, but it just is what it was. It was just more, I kind of always had a guilty feeling about it. Like, I mean, I guess the dude was probably doomed anyways to eventually overdose or something, because doing drugs and being on VR. But I wonder if that night, like, if I didn't bring him along, still been alive, changed his ways. I don't fucking know. Right in front of that sign.
This sign right here?
I mean, the crash more happened. Yeah, I mean, the crash more happened on that turn before, on that winding turn over there, but the car rolled down to here. I'm assuming he was still alive as the car was rolling down while he was overdosing or choking out.
Yeah.
Like right here would be it.
Dang.
Which is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
That's where he witnessed the dude basically, yeah, bite the bullet.